Brennan here, aka The Gut Whisperer, and it's time for a book review. That's right, I've read and summarized, and I'm going to be sharing with you my experiences reading Unlocking the Keto Code with Dr. Stephen Gundry. That's right, he is the famous author that wrote the book, The Plant Paradox. This was a revolutionary, groundbreaking book discussing the power and how to avoid lectins. These are plant chemicals that essentially put a huge stress on our bodies. So he wrote this book. This is still continuously timeless, and people are still learning and buying this book. And now, obviously, he's got the power paradox. That's another one. But this is Keto, Unlocking the Keto Code. So I'm going to read this, and this book is absolutely fantastic. It challenges the narrative against the conventional ketogenic diet theory. Let's begin. Unlocking the Keto Code. Dr. Gundry, famously known for his groundbreaking book, The Plant Paradox, has done it again. He's challenging the keto narrative by scientifically exploring truly what it means to burn fat as energy and shed off weight without eating copious amounts of fat. Dr. Gundry starts off by sharing two clinical stories, patients of his with somewhat the similar diets. One shed the weight that she wanted and even lost a little more, while the other couldn't find success at all. These women represent a large percentage of the general population. There are many people who, for whatever they eat, seem to burn it off magically, while others can famish themselves through restrictive dieting and can't lose an inch. Why is this? It's all about metabolic flexibility. It's how the human body can, or in a large percentage of the population cannot, shift from using glucose as a fuel source and adjust into a fat-burning free fatty acid fuel source. In fact, more than 45% of Americans are essentially unable to make the switch, not until they crack the keto code. Chapter 2, Dr. Gundry shoots at point blank. Ketones don't work as an incredible fuel. Instead, they unlock the vital molecular process known as mitochondrial uncoupling. And this phenomenon underlies everything we didn't know about how to support our health, well-being, and longevity. The point of this book isn't to dismiss ketones and the ketogenic diet. It's better to understand and appreciate the influence they have on mitochondrial health and function. What are ketones? They are produced in three different ways: during feast, high-fat diets; during famine, so starvation; and finally, in the presence of diabetes, metabolic disorder. And there is a commonality among these three scenarios: carbohydrates. Carbs are converted into glucose. Mitochondria use glucose to produce ATP that powers the cell. Insulin is what helps drive the glucose into the cells. It's also a fat-storing hormone, more on that later. And someone who is insulin resistant, they have difficulties making ATP. One thing to understand when we're observing insulin, its role with the delivery of glucose into the cells for ATP production. We also know it will assist in the conversion of glucose into fat if there is a surplus of glucose and it's not being used fast enough. Additionally, it also blocks, that's right, and prevents your body from liberating fat. This is why so many people have challenges losing weight because of insulin. One of the things that's especially fascinating about mitochondria is they have the ability to duplicate within the cell environment without needing this actual surrounding cell to duplicate. This process is known as mitogenesis. And this process is so crucial for not just energy, but also for our longevity. You may have heard of the term mitogenesis. And this is when mitochondria essentially speed up, cause heat, and this is when our warm-bodied blood mammals regulate temperature as well as burn fat. What kind of fat? Brown fat. Why is it called brown fat? Brown fat is jam-packed with mitochondria. In fact, I'm currently writing my thesis right now, and it is all about cold immersion therapy. And I learned in my studies about mitochondrial uncoupling and brown fat. And so when I was reading this and studying that and writing that, and then reading Dr. Gundry's book, it all came together really, really nicely. I digress. Let's continue. Chapter 4, Dr. Gundry gives us a list of macronutrients and micronutrients that share the power of ketones, but they are not ketones. This is where many keto enthusiasts fall short in terms of missing out on other healthy and supporting foods to achieve their goals. They are divided into four groups: ketones, butyrate, and other short-chain fatty acids, postbiotics, and polyphenols. A key point to remember, these block histone deacetylases, which promote cancer growth. So not only do they support our mitochondria, they also help prevent cancer. What are some of the powerful signaling foods that he mentions? Well, here are just a few of many. Goat cheese, black coffee, green tea, selenium, turmeric, and you guessed it, cold plunges in ice cold water or cold showers. One of the most emphasized strategies discussed is the importance of time-restricted eating. One study referenced a group of athletes. One group of athletes ate within a 12-hour eating window, while the other group of athletes ate within the exact same meals with just a condensed, shortened 7-hour window. The athletes who ate the shorter window not only experienced fat loss, they experienced muscle growth. In addition, IGF-1, insulin growth-like factor, went down. This is known as an aging process. Now, I, for one, thought that IGF-1 is very good, especially me being a bodybuilder. When we increase our insulin growth factor, that means like we're growing. But I would love to have a conversation with Dr. Gundry, and he can maybe share some more insight on that selfishly so I can learn more about the IGF-1. Having a longer fasting window allows for the liver to produce more ketones, which, as we know, signal mitochondria to become more resilient, stronger, healthier through wasting fuel, regenerating, and repairing. Polyphenols, we've heard before, are antioxidants, are from a wide variety of plant sources. We've heard that they are miraculous at reducing inflammation, providing anti-aging effects by protecting our cells. This is sort of true. Antioxidants, believe it or not, have nothing to do with it. Polyphenols uncouple our mitochondria. Polyamines are compounds in foods such as aged cheeses, mushrooms. Both significantly uncouple mitochondria. These compounds have been known to protect against neurodegeneration, so like Alzheimer's, for example. Back to cold water. Cold water immersions and showers are also known to produce the protein that helps regulate metabolism and, of course, you guessed it, uncouple mitochondria. Another main theme discussed, the differences between fats, and most of us have heard that a keto diet is basically 80% fat from almost all sources. Not all fats are the same and should be treated equal. For the sake of this review, there are short-chain fatty acids, medium-chain triglycerides, long-chain fatty acids, and there's even very long-chain fatty acids. In short, they all have a place and purpose which benefit our health. However, MCTs, medium-chain triglycerides, are a powerhouse for uncoupling to which we should use strategically. The last few points of the book discuss optimizing and protecting brain health. Originally, the ketogenic diet was used for children with epilepsy. For reasons that I'm not going to explain because it goes way too deep, researchers discovered that children who consume predominantly fats and protein significantly reduce the severity and even the occurrence of their seizures. Final points. Get better sleep. One of our body's strongest and most powerful antioxidants is actually melatonin. We know it to be a sleep hormone, but again, Dr. Gundry shares some more insights that many of us did not know. Consider this. It acts as a bouncer from a nightclub. Melatonin not only repairs mitochondria, it's an uncoupler, which perhaps is its primary purpose. Strategize eating and fasting windows and stick to that. The goal is to work towards fasting towards 16 hours and eating within an 8-hour window. Assess your lifestyle. If you're taking medications, try to strategically and safely and effectively come off of them. Avoid disruptors such as chemicals and even exposure to blue light. Continue consuming plenty of low lectin vegetables. If you don't know, read the book, The Plant Paradox. There's lots of foods listed at the end of this book, the do's and don'ts when trying to unlock the keto code, as well as recipes, strategies to slowly graduate you along into unlocking your own keto code. It was a fantastic book. I've learned a lot. Highly recommend this to everyone and anyone. If you are a professional in the health field, you got to read this because this is up-to-date, brand new information. And this will help in your clinical setting, offering your clients and patients more information and new up-to-date information. And also, if you are, let's say, a fitness coach, an online coach, you'll be able to use some of these strategies into your own business and help your clients achieve their goals much, much faster. And again, if you're just a regular person and you want to improve your health and lifestyle, I recommend reading this book because one of my last videos, I talk about how easy it is to lose weight by following these simple strategies and principles. That being said, it's a fantastic book. Dr. Gundry, you did it again. Really, really enjoyed it. Thanks so much for sharing. And if you like this video, hit a like, hit a subscribe, share this with your friends. We just want to share this information and get it out to the world. So thanks again. Gut Whisperer out.